And how did you end up contacting me?
Facebook.
Cool. And how old were you when you found my training, when you found the jump manual?
I was probably 7th or 8th grade.
You're 7th or 8th grade. Okay. And at that time, could you dunk or touch rim, or where were you at in your progress?
I definitely couldn't dunk. I'd always just tried to see how high I could get, and I ended up being able to touch the rim in 8th grade.
And when you started doing the jump manual, did anybody think that you were crazy, or did anybody think that it wasn't going to work?
Some of my, I guess they weren't really friends, but my peers, they kind of made fun of me a little, just because I was concentrating on my legs so much. And they were all about upper body, but I was kind of laughing at them because I was doing what I wanted to do, and I had faith in the jump manual that it was going to pay off.
So at what point did you realize that it was actually working and you were going to start being able to achieve some of your goals?
Oh, it didn't take very long at all. I was noticing some gains pretty quick in my vertical and definitely in the weight room.
Cool. You still there?
Yeah.
And at what point did other people start to notice, hey, what's going on? You're starting to jump differently. Did they start asking you questions, or how did that go down?
My freshman year, I made it official that I could dunk on Facebook, and some of the seniors commented like, "Oh yeah, let's see it," thinking that I couldn't. So I ended up going to the gym the next day, and they were all there, and I did it in front of them, and none of them could actually dunk. I was the only one in the entire school that could dunk.
Awesome.
And they were pretty jealous. And people eventually wanted to start working out with me because they wanted to jump higher too. And people that didn't even play basketball wanted to. They wanted to start working out with me.
That's awesome. So when did you get your first dunk in the game?
First one in the game was my sophomore year. I could have had some my freshman year, but I couldn't palm a ball, so I just didn't really trust myself in a game. I figured if I ended up missing one, at that point I would have been pulled from the game.
Oh yeah, totally. And how many inches do you think you've gained on your vertical since the time you started doing the jump manual until now?
Probably I think 13 or 14, around there.
13 or 14 inches.
Yeah, I measured it in the 8th grade, and it was about 29, I think, and now I'm about at 42.
And you're currently playing college basketball now?
Yes.
And do you feel that...
I'm at a...
Go ahead.
What was that? Oh, I was just going to say I'm up at Central Wyoming.
Cool, man. That's great. And you feel a lot of the reasons you were able to play college basketball is because of becoming a more explosive, more powerful athlete?
Yes, definitely. I came from a really small school, so there isn't really a lot of recruiting there. I remember sending some of my stuff to some bigger schools, and I knew they had openings, and all I got as a response was, "Sorry, we're full."
Okay.
And I would send, film and long descriptions of myself and everything. They just didn't even look at me. So when I finally got some coaches to watch that film, they were definitely impressed, and definitely thought I was athletic enough to play. I had one of my teammates actually. He's actually a pretty good friend of mine. He had better stats than I did in high school, and he had awards like. I'm pretty sure he was All-State of senior year. He ended up not playing in college because he wasn't. I don't think he was athletic enough. I mean, he could touch the rim on some days, but that was about it. And his shot didn't really have any elevation on it, so it was pretty easy to guard.
So the scouts that were following you, they recognized that you were more athletic, and they thought that gave you more potential.
Yes.
Did they ever ask about your training?
No.
Didn't really ask about it.
No.
So, if people, who are looking to get more explosive, or who are looking at the jump manual or any of my programs, what advice would you give them as far as being someone who went through that process, became the athlete that you've wanted to become, and are still progressing? What would you tell them about their training and about what they should do?
Trust the program and follow it as closely as possible. I remember when I first started out, it started getting a little slower, and I remembered that I hadn't. I stopped kind of doing the upper body and core strength stuff, and then once I started doing that again, it was like huge gains from that. I mean, several inches in a week, and that was just from not following it right. So you definitely have to just trust it and follow it as closely as possible.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you getting on the phone with me, and I really appreciate you reaching out and sending me your videos. I love your videos, man. I'm going to post them and let people see the progress you've made, and we'll keep in touch. I want to keep hearing about your progress, man. You're not done.